And now let's go below and see if we can't get the boys to sing us some sea shanties. We might even get old 40 Fathom to spin us a yarn. If young Peter Pilbeam is below, he'll get a story out of old 40 Fathom. So leave your troubles ashore and let's see what we can scare up for entertainment this cruise.
Be a good scout, Elf.
How about a little Java, Alf, old chip?
Aye, and a hunk of apple pie.
Any of that duff left, Cookie?
Hold on there. Get out of the icebox, Peter. Get away from them pies, Danny. Blimey, if you ain't worse than a newspaper man. I was aboard the fellow last week.
No, we aren't, Elf. Gosh, I never seen anyone eat like those fellows.
Yeah, we did all the work, and those newspaper men did all the eating.
Yes, they did. You fellows ate your share, right enough.
Well, what are you kicking about? You didn't have to cook it.
That I didn't, but you're on the spray now, and I ain't washing extra dishes for no one.
Not even for a song, you old grouch?
Well now, I ain't saying that if you'll pay the extra trouble with a little song, there might be an extra pie or two.
Come on, boys. We didn't expect to get away with it anyhow. Let's pay.
I think I want some pie.
Come on, please. Bit more. I'd like some more.
Did I hear something about pie? You sure did, old 40 Fathom. We just paid in advance for ours, and...
We paid in advance. What did you do?
Hi, well, I don't care if I do, Alfred. Thanks.
Hello there, Mr. Ball. I thought you was up on deck talking about 40 fathom fish.
I was, Alfred, until I heard something about apple pie.
Well, here's the pie, and I'll make some Java in a jiffy. Now, Peter, me lad, will you help me with the dishes afterward?
With pleasure, Alfred.
Well now, can you beat that? That's the first time I ever saw you so willing to help, Peter.
Don't you think that a request nicely asked should be granted, old 40 Fathom?
Of course I do, Peter. Any man wouldn't put himself in a little this world is no good.
Well, if that's the case, then get ready to spin a yarn.
You won't catch me that way, Peter. Besides, you didn't request the yarn nicely.
Oh, I'm not asking you to tell a story, old 40 Fathom.
What are you driving at, then?
Mr. Ball has letters from over 200 people asking you to tell the story of the frozen pirate again, and I'm sure you wouldn't refuse a request like that.
That's right, sir. Here are the letters. Now, you can't refuse all these requests, can you?
Well, I actually think you and Peter plot together to see how you can trick me into spinning yarns. Well, I'm as good as my word, and if you have all those letters asking for the yarn of the frozen pirate, they'll have it. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time I told you lads the story, you were all around the galley stove drinking coffee, and that's just the way this yarn begins. It was during a terrible gale off the Horn of the crew of the brig Laughing Mary, and was huddled around the stove in the cabin. The decks were awash. The brig was at mercy of the gale, and with the helm lashed, they were waiting for the gale to abate the watery grave for all hands. The cook, Sam, and an ordinary seaman were forward. The rest of the crew was aft in the captain's cabin. The wind was like the shrieking of the devils, icy and blowing right from the south polar regions. But even in the face of almost certain death, they were brave.
We're in an ugly part of the world, Captain Rosie. When bad sailors die, they're sent here, I reckon.
I've been hove under bare poles more than once in my time, but never through so long a stretch.
What something do you allow our drift will be given us, Captain?
All 4 miles an hour, Mrs. Rodney. And let me tell you, Mrs. Mate, the Antarctic Circle won't be far off presently. And boil me if I don't have the naming of the tallest land. For you see, I've the mind to be known after I'm dead, and there is nothing like your signature on a mountain to be remembered by.
Thank God for your sense of humor, sir. It has kept us all up these past days.
Look out!
Watch it!
What's that? Man washed overboard? What is it, man? Speak up!
No, sir. Iceberg, jet ahead.
Merciful heavens.
An iceberg!
Cast the helm adrift. 2 hands stand by it. Forward some of ye and use the forestays. And show the head of it.
No man can get forward and live. Sir, he'll be washed overboard.
I'll lead. Follow me who will.
I'll help you, Miss Rodney.
Another hand land, lay adrift, and help with the helm. Quick!
Get a drag upon the sheet, lads, and then aft with your for your lives.
Well, lads, the mate Rodney and Sam, the cook, were the only men left alive after the brig crashed on that iceberg. Rodney and the cook found that one boat had escaped from being stove in and few provisions hastily gathered. They launched the boat just before the brig sank into an icy grave. For 5 days they were blown before the gale, and they were very near death when they came in sight of an icy coast where they landed and fell exhausted on the hard snow. When they came to, their boat had drifted far to sea and they were left to face a frozen death with no shelter or food.
Oh Lord, forgive me for my sins.
Oh, now quit that, Sam. We're in a tight fix, and the Lord will help us. Much faster if we help ourselves. Get up off your knees and let's look around.
Oh, don't leave me. The good book says it's not right to leave a man by himself.
Well, then come with me. Keep your eyes peeled and let's see if there's any shelter.
This icy snow is hard to walk on. Do you suppose that... Look yonder! It's a ghost! It's the devil himself! Oh!
Am I going mad too? A dead man, but in an outlandish costume, plush breeches and high leather boots, an ermine cape. Why, he's dressed in the clothes of a century past.
Don't go near him! As sure as you live, that's the devil himself, and he's come to take us!
Oh, quiet, Sam. I thought I was mad or dreaming for a moment. That man's dead, frozen. He must have been shipwrecked or marine years ago. Look, Sam, even his beard and his hair are frozen, like wire. Poor devil.
How long do you suppose he's been dead?
I don't know, Sam. But this cold has preserved him as he was the day he died. What an evil, leering face. If he wasn't a pirate, I'll miss my guess. Well, I wonder if he has a flint and steel in his pockets. It may save our lives if he has, though heaven knows what we'll find to eat.
You look. I'm not going to touch that pirate.
Look here! Gold! Spanish pieces of 8! And look at this, a watch!
Golly, are those Whitestone diamonds?
They are, Sam, and they're worth a fortune!
I'd give those diamonds up, those watches up, for one small, half-staved, measly chicken.
So would I, Sam. Here, let's take this chap's cutlass. We may need it to chip a hole in the ice to shelter us from this wind. Well, there's nothing else in his pockets. Here, Sam, take this velvet waistcoat. I'll take the fur cape. Poor devil. He's beyond needing their warmth. And now let's make a further search.
All right, I'm coming. But if I wasn't so cold, I wouldn't put on a dead man's clothes. Hey, wait for me!
Gee, old 40 Fathom, I think I'd be as scared as Sam.
Keep quiet, Peter. Let's see how they come out.
Well, boys, they found food and they found shelter, but I doubt if anyone would care to face what they did for all the food and the shelter in the world.
What's happening?
They found an ancient ship so covered with ice that they had to hack their way into the cabin. They were there at a table were 2 members of the crew, frozen to death. They found cheeses, hogshead of wine, flour, and everything frozen like iron. And a vast amount of richly ornamented pistols and cutlasses, which assured Rodney that they had stumbled on the pirate craft of the century past. They found flint and steel and started a fire in the stove and thawed out some food and brandy. They then decided to rid of the 2 bodies. The first they managed to get out on the deck with ease, but the second man weighed well over 200 pounds and was frozen in such a position that he couldn't get through the small door. So they propped him in a chair near the fire to thaw out so they could straighten his body and pass him through the door.
Sam, as soon as this fellow is thawed out and we get him on deck, gather the warmest of those clothes and make up 2 berths. At least we won't freeze him with warm clothing and a fire.
No, we shouldn't. We won't. There's enough food to last us forever. And I found enough coal for the stove.
Put some of those hams in the oven and thaw them out. Sam, there's enough raw wine aboard this ship to make us rich if we could get it to England. Just think, old Spanish wine, nearly 100 years old.
Then, if the wine is that old, this pirate must be over 100 years old if he was alive.
That's right, Sam. Over 100 years old, and this ice has preserved him so that he doesn't look a day over 45 just as when he died.
He sure is a mean-looking pirate. Look at his nose, just like a pole parrot. And ain't he fierce? Ah!
Sam, what's wrong?
His leg! The pirate's leg moved! Oh, Lord, save my soul!
Oh, quit that, Sam. Of course his leg moved. His body was stiff from the cold, and he's thawing out, that's all. That's why I put him by the fire, so he could straighten himself out.
He's alive! He's alive! It's the devil himself! I'm not waiting for him to catch me!
Oh, great heavens. He is alive. Here, get me some brandy, quick. If this man's alive, we got to save him.
Oh, I sure hope you know what you're doing, bringing the devil back to life.
Quiet, Sam. Now strip his clothes and rub his feet while I force this brandy down his throat.
Oh, Lord, forgive me for this. He's been asleep for about 12 hours. You suppose he's going to sleep for another 50 years, like when he was frozen?
This is the most miraculous thing I've ever heard of. If we're ever saved to tell this story, we'll be laughed at.
No one is going to laugh at me. And I'm not going to tell anyone this story. Oh, my Lord!
Sacré mon Dieu! Que êtes-vous?
Don't try to get up. Lie quietly for a while. You
speak the English, eh? Sacré, where do you come from?
We are 2 shipwrecked sailors, blown ashore on this iceberg like yourself.
How long you been here?
3 days.
3 days? I've slept for 3 days.
I think much longer than that.
What month is this?
July.
July? Impossible. Let me think. Now I have it. Giuseppe Trontinov and I were in the cabin. He had fallen blind with the glare of the ice. He fell asleep at the table, and then I too feel drowsy and fall asleep. Sacré, now I remember. We were locked in the ice in November. We stay 6 months here. The crew will not wait. They take to the small boats. All but us 3. Where they are.
One man is frozen on the ice. The other we placed on deck. They're frozen too.
And you say this is July? 4 months I sleep? Impossible.
What year was it when you fell in the ice?
What year? What year could it be but 1753?
Great heavens. And this is 1801.
Ha 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 ha! Bah! Your mind is a little crazed from hardship. Shipwreck shuffles dates as card player does cards, and the best of us go wrong in famine, loneliness, and cold. Never mind. All will return to you like it did to me.
He's crazy. He doesn't know he slept for for 50 years.
What's that, you?
I didn't say a word, Mr. Pirate. I was just yawning.
Pirate? No man lives who knows that much.
Here, let's not quarrel. Couldn't we know the nature of your craft by its very looks? And by this watch here?
True, but that watch, it was Mendoza's, the captain's, so he is frozen dead. Served him right.
Tell me more about your ship. What ship is this?
The Boca del Dragon. Why not the truth? We flew the Black Flag, as you have guessed. I, Jules Assad, third in command. We took what we wanted. One ship we took, a very rich prize. Then we lock her people under hatches, set fire to the ship. No witnesses, ne si pas. Who gives us a quarter but to hang us? Then we hit the storm. Sacré, how she blow. No sun for weeks, colder all the time. When the sun she shine again, we find ourselves locking the ice. Ha ha ha. You say that happened 50 years ago? Soon you'll get back your senses like me. 50 years. Ha ha ha. Hey, where do you go?
To bring your companions here to the fire. To rub them like we did with you and to bring them too, if possible.
Fool! They are stone blind. Unless you could return them their sight with their life, they would curse you for disturbing them. Let them sleep. They are dead. But I, Jules Assad, live! Ha ha! The devil is loyal to his own. And now, bring me some broth and brandy, and I will sleep again. And then I will show you treasures such as you have never dreamed of. The ransom of kings. There are 3 of us left to share this treasure before I fell asleep. Now, there are 3 of us again. That is, if we all live.
Oh.
Ha ha. But go, make haste with the food. I am starving and must get back my strength. Strange how my bones ache. I'm as stiff as an old man. And these diamonds I tore from the ears of a haughty Spanish lady.
Oh my gosh! It's a whole chest full of jewels!
And chests of minted gold, Spanish gold, pieces of 8. 2 heavy chests of solid gold bars. Now, my friend, talk to me of honorable life after seeing this. Is not here something worth going to the scaffold for?
'Tis a pretty pocketful. How much do you reckon it at?
Close to 100,000 pounds.
$500,000! And the wines! Another large fortune in wines, rare wines. 50 years old.
Ha ha ha. Your mind is still weak on your adventures, my friend. You still think the year is 1801, eh?
Never mind. Perhaps my mind is wandering a bit. $500,000 and a corgo of rare wines, worth its weight in gold. But come, enough of this. All the treasure in the world won't avail us.
You still think our prospects black?
As black as the flag you sailed under, Jules Tassard.
I have cut men's throats for less than that. It is a jolly flag, the Jolly Roger. But we will not quarrel. How about your clever plan of blowing the schooner free with gunpowder?
I've been thinking of the age of this ship. She might leak like a sieve, and then we'd lose everything, even our food and shelter.
Age? She's only built 40 years ago, and she's not been strained by the ice. The ice, she just closed in and...
Well, have it your way about her age. If we do get her free, we can make shift to the nearest port and ship a crew.
Do you want to be hanged, you fool? You would convey the most noted pirate of the age, with plunder in her, to port where we find ships of war? Ma foi, Mrs. Rodney, you are more crazy than I thought.
After all these years, she'll be completely forgotten.
Look here, let's have no more talk about years. You may be as mad as you please on that point, but they won't hang me. We will bury this treasure in an island. Then for the Tortugas, where we find men to defend the treasure, which we recover from the island. But to go in this ship with no crew but ourselves, ma foi, sacre! The first cruiser take us, and then ho for that hangman.
All right, but let's get the schooner free first. We have plenty of powder and do we have plenty of powder and slow matches?
Plenty in the gunner's stores.
Then tomorrow we'll all three break out in the powder and try our luck.
Now you are talking sense. Some more of that brandy, boy. Let's make merry tonight. Tomorrow we may be blown up with the ship.
Did they get the schooner free, old 40,000?
Blimey, will you keep quiet, Peter? Always interrupting a good yarn with questions. How about it, Captain? Did they get blowed up and lose the treasure?
Just pipe down, both of ye, and I'll tell ya. Rodney and Sam and the pirate rigged up tackle, hoisted the kegs of powder on the deck, slid them ashore, and went to work laying their mines. They had to remain aboard and run the risk of being blown up because if the schooner did free herself, they'd be out of luck ashore. It was a terrible risk, but it meant freedom and wealth on one hand or the prospect of ending their days on that iceberg.
You ready, Sam?
Yes, ma'am.
Jules Tassard, you've made your peace with God?
With the devil, you mean? I'm ready. Yo-ho for the open seas.
Then light your fuses when I give the word and get on that schooner as fast as possible. I don't trust these old slow matches.
50 years old, aren't they, Mrs. Rodney?
But you're more than 100, you rambunctious old pirate.
Already, light your fuses, and may God have mercy on our souls.
Is it gonna work?
Quiet, Sam.
Oh, Lord. Give me wings to fly to heaven.
She is not moved. Your scheme is a failure.
I don't know that my scheme is a failure. Did you expect that the blast would blow the ice with the schooner on it clear into the open sea? If the ice is so shaken that the waves will separate the pieces, my scheme will prove all right.
I tell you the schooner is fixed in the ice. It is your fault, but you will meddle no more. The Boca del Dragon is mine. Mine, do you understand? What made you awake me? I was at peace. What demon forced you to bring me back to this disappointment?
I have no apology to offer for saving your life, nor for this scheme of mine.
I feel dazed. I am weak, giddy, strange. I find my speech difficult. Do you notice I halt thickly?
You are all right. We are all disappointed. You probably hurt your head when you fell on the deck, just now from the explosion.
No, it is my whole body on too. My bones ache and everything is getting dark. How fate I am.
Look at his hair! Rodney, it's white! Oh, Lord, he's turning into an old man!
Quiet, Sam. Some brandy. Here, lean on me. You'll be all right in a moment.
How's that? I can't hear you.
You'll be all right. Oh my God, Sam. What a sight. A moment ago, he was a middle-aged man. Now he looks to be over 100. Hurry with that brandy.
'Tis a cold I have, my friend. Just a cold. Now I know what rheumatism is. Ha ha ha. Jules Tassard. Strongest man on the 7 seas. Rheumatism. Ha ha ha. But my capers are not over yet. Ha ha ha. No, no. Vive l'amour. Vive la joie. The sun is coming. The sun is the fountain of youth. Ha ha ha. Aye, mon brave. There are some shakes in these stout legs yet. Ha ha.
Now he has to have looking glasses. Then he won't argue about how old this boat is.
Poor devil. This disappointment has shocked him so that he has aged 50 years right before our eyes. Let's take him to his...
She's sliding! She's sliding
stand by, Sam, or we'll be swamped. If she slides free and floats, there are only two of us to sail her. She's free! Sam, she's free! She floats! Now pray for our souls.
Well, lads, the old pirate died that night, calling on God to forgive his sins, and the cook and Rodney, the mate, sailed that old pirate schooner through ice, through storm and peril, until they came near the Horn again, and there they sighted a New Bedford whaler who loaned them 4 men from their crew in exchange for many casks of valuable wine. Nothing was said about treasure, but they finally landed in England, safe from their hardships and rich beyond their wildest dreams.
But, Old 40 Fathom, how can a man really be frozen stiff for so many years and return to life? Honestly now.
Now, Peter, why spoil a good story?